Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamila Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Public Services Commission under fire over DPP appointment delay. Prime Minister in New York for 80th UN General Assembly. And later in sports, Mount Pleasant FA aiming to secure a place in the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup semifinals when they face Central FC tonight.
Now the details. The Public Service Commission is facing sharp criticism over failure to appoint a new Director of Public Prosecutions. This following the recent departure of Paula Llewellyn. Human rights group Jamaicans for Justice says the delay is troubling.
Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, is taking the Public Services Commission, PSC, to task for failing to swiftly appoint a new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. Her criticism comes in the wake of Paula Llewellyn demitting office last Friday after 17 years in the post. Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Claudette Thompson, is now acting in the role. Speaking yesterday on Beyond the Headlines, Ms. Jackson argued that the delay in naming a permanent DPP reflects poorly on the PSC and undermines public confidence. She wants urgent reforms to the appointment process to guarantee greater transparency and accountability.
We still don't have a DPP installed. We have an acting. I don't think that is good. The lack of transparency, we're relying on the media to hear that there were 4 shortlisted and we don't know how that process is going on. We need to structure a little bit more that where a situation may arise, this is the clear process. I think we need to make some amendments to processes and how transparent they are. But again, an indictment that we don't have a DPP appointed when we all knew September 19 was coming.
Meanwhile, Jamaican prosecutor Adley Duncan, who works in Bermuda, believes whoever assumes the office will have big shoes to fill, but an opportunity to bring a fresh way of leading the department.
I think whoever is installed as the next DPP needs to have the appropriate traits of leadership. And in particular, I think for these purposes, most important of all is the ability to be an individual. Because Mr. Llewellyn was DPP for, 17 years? It's very, very important, I think, that the next DPP is an individual who isn't committed to doing things that they were done for the past 17 years necessarily, but who is able to lead the office in a fresh way.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
Stopping erosion, one tree at a time. That's the mission of the Jamaica Fishermen's Cooperative as it moves to protect eroding beaches across the island. Krista Campbell has that report.
Cascading waves like curtains in the wind, white sandy beach like a carpet, and the Caribbean Sea his bed. A lone swimmer basking at Hellshire Beach in Portmore, St. Catherine. But the famed beach is a shell of its former self, and fishers are being urged to help protect what's left of it. Like it's been doing at other beaches across the island, the Jamaica Fishermen's Cooperative is continuing a mission to plant trees along the shore to address Hellshire's worsening erosion problem.
This beach was far out, but as time go by, the sea keep coming in. So we have to take action, because if we don't, this will be completely gone.
And noting a handful of trees already at Hellshire Beach, Chairman of the cooperative, Sean Taylor, stressed the positive impact of planting sea grapes, tulips and coconut trees.
One of the best ways to control beach erosion is planting trees. And the trees have a multi-purpose. The roots control the soil from, or the sea from removing the sun at a faster rate. And it also have the purpose of the shade, and it also regulate the air that we breathe in as fishers.
Now, to get the buy-in from the public, the planters have asked persons on the beach to adopt a tree, taking responsibility for frequently watering it and ensuring its survival.
In Montego Bay, we didn't lose any. In Chejo Beach, we lose maybe 2, I think. And in Parati, we didn't save any, because one of the things happened is that it's because of the goat, and we saved 2 in Old Harbour. So one of the things is we wouldn't say it is bad, It's just that some of the beaches have a lot of goats that stray around, and the tree don't get proper protection from the goat.
From the animals.
Then you know that they will destroy us.
We don't really have a lot of goats to eat down the plants, so all we need to do is to make a shield around the plant to cover them from the southeast wind that they don't fall.
Fishermen are also being urged to play their part.
This is their workspace, and if they don't protect it, it means they won't have it. And so we say, let's partner together to ensure it is good for you and it will be sustained.
Krista Campbell, TVJ News.
Councillor for the Barbican Division, Joy Cotterell, is holding the National Water Commission, NWC, accountable for the worsening condition of the Norbrook roadway. According to Ms. Cotterell, the problem worsens during periods of rainfall, making it increasingly difficult for motorists and pedestrians. She expressed deep frustration with the continued neglect, stating that she is fed up with the situation and is calling for swift action to carry out the necessary repairs.
Leakage. They come and they just do a little thing and they leave it. And because of that now, the volume of rain that come now wash it away because it was leaking. So every time it leaks, they come and they fix and they patch. But we need to look at it properly and get what is underneath there that is creating the problem dealt with as soon as possible.
TVJ News reached out to the NWC and it says it is investigating the matter. Also that work will be completed by Thursday of this week. Residents who frequent Slipe Road in Kingston are urging authorities to take immediate action to address an open trench in the area. The uncovered drain, which has been there from last year, is directly in front of two schools. This has prompted serious safety concerns.
The trenches that are over there, there's mostly a long walkway along the stretch, and if they have to pass the trenches, they'll have to step out into the road to go to the other side. And not only adults, but you have young kids that are not always monitored that travel to school on their own, along with elders, so it's very dangerous because they can drop in the ditch if there's persons who are not familiar with the area to know that it's there. So it's very dangerous because it's right into the middle. As you can see, all the roads are set. It is very dangerous, so not only children, but for the adults and for the unmonitored children as well.
Lorna Tennant, a staff member at Central Branch Infant School, has also emphasized the dangers posed to students, calling for urgent intervention.
When the smell come up, it smells bad and it affects the children. And even most of the time, every principal might say, it needs to clean up, it needs to clean. And nobody have come about it all now. So I may even have a disabled daughter and I have to push her on the sidewalk. And it don't good for her because it's rotten, and then you see the hole is there. When you push her, you have to be careful because I don't want her to fall in the hole. It's very rotten. The hole out there is very rotten.
So my advice to authority, whoever is in charge, is to come and fix it. It's very dangerous not only for our youth but also for our elders who don't have supervision, because we have a lot of elders who travel and they're not supervised as well by any adults, and not only for the adults but for the children that are not monitored well. Kids can be idle sometimes and they will play and they can drop into the ditch. So please, we're calling upon the authorities to come and fix the ditch because it's very unsafe for our youths and for our elders.
When TVJ News contacted Works Minister Robert Morgan, he says a team will be sent to the area to assess and address the situation. Sanctions and tougher penalties for corruption took center stage at the Jamaica Customs Agency's anti-corruption panel discussion recently. The event was held at AC Hotel in Kingston. Ramarda Lyons reports.
Concerns continue to echo about safeguarding the trade sector. It's why Brigadier Clark, commander of the Maritime, Air and Cyber Command, stressed the need for greater alignment in tackling corruption.
And conferences like these provide that opportunity. A collective decision that Jamaica will no longer tolerate corruption as normal. A collective commitment that integrity will guide our institutions, guide our businesses, and guide our communities.
He added that integrity is not only a moral issue, but also an issue of national security.
Corruption weakens our borders, it undermines law enforcement, it enables organized crime, and it erodes trust in the government. And when citizens no longer believe in their leaders, instability grows. And again, it becomes a national security challenge.
Now, a panel discussion with industry players focused on facilitating trust despite Jamaica's culture of corruption. Alfred MacDonald, Business Development Manager at Kingston Wharves Limited, pointed to accountability.
I think certainly in the business environment where there are opportunities for people to get through without paying all of the fees and find another way to do it, when there are complex documents to be completed or the process is long, people want to find a way to get around that. Trust is therefore built when there is a degree of predictability in the system, when there is transparency, when there is integrity in the actors that superintend that system.
Marlon Lowe, Deputy Commissioner in the Border Protection Division at the Jamaica Customs Agency, says,
persons need to be punished when they are corrupt, when they are doing the wrong thing. And the punishment must come at different levels.
But that doesn't always mean someone will be fired or face prison time.
It could mean counseling, right? It could very well mean that, right? That is sanction, right? And it could mean that everybody see and knows that Mr. Kingsley Henry is getting counseling because he did something wrong, right? So it is also very important to build persons.
Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is in New York for the 80th UN General Assembly. The event allows Jamaica to reaffirm its global cooperation stance. In his absence, Deputy PM Dr. Horace Strang is in charge. This year's UN meeting stressed urgent action on sustainable development goals. Dr. Holness returns to Jamaica on Saturday. It's now time for the Business Minute.
Fitch Ratings Agency says Jamaica's debt to GDP ratio could fall to 59% next year, 1 year ahead of schedule. The agency notes, however, that there may be pressure from the electorate for increased spending following campaign promises. Fitch says this outlook is possible because both political parties remain committed to fiscal prudence and macroeconomic stability. It also pointed to Jamaica's strong history of adhering to fiscal rules, reaffirming its positive outlook on the country's BB sovereign credit rating. Further afield, an agreement between Boeing and China is expected to be finalized soon. On Tuesday, U.S. Ambassador to China David Perdue told reporters that a huge deal is in its final days or weeks of negotiation. His comments came at a news conference for a U.S. House delegation's visit to Beijing. No further details of the deal were shared, but Bloomberg reported last month that Boeing was nearing a deal to sell up to 500 aircrafts to China. For the Business Minute, I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, the Director General of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, Dr. Didacus Jules, says the French Caribbean territories are not on the margins of the regional integration story, but are active players and leaders. Speaking during a virtual meeting with a delegation of the French Senate for Overseas Territories, he said the French territories bring resources, technical expertise, and innovative practices that enrich the sub-regional grouping and strengthen cooperation across the Eastern Caribbean. On the international scene, China has evacuated hundreds of thousands of people and ordered at least 10 cities to close schools and some businesses as the strongest storm of the year bears down on its southern coast. Hong Kong has upgraded its typhoon warning to 8, just 2 levels below the maximum, ahead of the arrival of Super Typhoon Ragasa. The storm is expected to make landfall in China's Guangdong province on Wednesday, where some 370,000 people have been evacuated so so far as authorities warn of a catastrophic situation. And those are the top regional and international stories. I'm Carrie Ann Simpson.
Thank you, Carrie, and we take another break. Sports is next.